FL folders to the next video, and this video is all about getting inspired to either fold, make paper, get in that mood, that zone that you need to be in to create something unique from paper. So let me know what inspires you in the comments, and I will let you know what inspires me, and hopefully we can learn from each other. So I wrote down a wee list of things just to mention and cover, so in case I don't forget. So go through them one by one. So the things that inspire me to fold when I wake up, what should I make, what should I fold, what paper should I create, it comes down to the first two of the 5 things. It's a mix of both, and what those are is seeing great folds of models and having the right paper to make them with. So for instance, I have seen this amazing new dragon by this designer, but I want to make that model, but I only have printer paper. Now the thing that would be blocking me was printer paper isn't suitable for a really cool dragon depending on the complexity. So I'm quite stuck to make that dragon because I only have printer paper and it's this size. I would need to join like 15 of them together to get a nice size square, and then I would have lots of overlaps and maybe tape that's been used, and it wouldn't be that great to use printer paper. So what inspires me is creating the paper and this sheet underneath. Let me just move these out of the way. Now when I see a model that I would like to make, I would genuinely like to see a great rendition of the model, because that really helps inspire me to make it. If I can see the full potential that this model has, then I want to be able to recreate that, and not just recreate but reinvent in terms of shaping wise, just to make it stand out. So the thing with me is I've seen this really cool dragon. Now I need to try and make something that captures a dragon in a sheet of paper. I need to be inspired to create something mythical in a sheet of paper. So this is one of the sheets that I have come up with. It may be quite hard to show the colours on the actual video, but I do have lots of pictures of this paper which I will post to my Instagram in the next few days, so make sure to check that out. But because I can create my own paper, I have lots of ingredients that I can use. It's thinking about how to capture a dragon in a sheet of paper, how to capture those colours. Again, they can come in any colour. They're not real, so they can be whatever colour that you want to make it with. So I'm thinking, when I'm creating this paper, what I normally do is I look up dragons on Google. I will type dragons, hit images, and then just look for all the pictures. And this is the colours that I created here are from one of the pictures that I saw, which is a sort of, it's a beige, golden, it's a light, almost like terracotta type colour. So it's a really light and vibrant with lots of shines. And I thought this would look really nice on a dragon, but I haven't decided what dragon to use this for. So that is what helps to inspire me. I like to see a good fold of the model. I like to see the full potential that the model can have when shaping, and then if it's something that I would really love to make, I will plan out the paper. I will look up what the actual model looks like in real life. I will look up the actual colours of what I'm wanting to make, and then I will try and recreate that in a sheet of paper. Now this is just a dragon. For example, this one here is a mosquito paper. It is not the sheet I will be using for a mosquito, which I will embed in resin. This is a test fold of that paper, just trying to figure out the correct ratios of of what I use to capture the right Mosquito colour. And that's one of the things I do a lot as well as testing. Once I've seen what I want to make, once I have looked up what the actual model looks like and the colours, I will do lots of tests. This normally applies to full scale tests. I'll make it, I'll adjust it, and then I'll keep doing that until I'm happy. But the actual sheet is upstairs. Because this paper is 6 GSM, the heat from my hands could potentially slightly warp the paper, but because the actual sheet has been made already for near enough over a month, it should be perfectly fine, just as this one is. But I'm deciding when I make a certain type of paper, I'm also deciding the thickness of the paper. For example, I'm not going to use this extremely thin 6 GSM for a dragon because I don't think it would look good. A dragon needs to capture that real raw strength of a dragon, that thickness. This does nothing, whereas this is much thicker and it will surely capture a dragon better than this thin paper. So that is the first 2 points. It's a big mixture of between seeing good folds and having the paper to make it if I can either buy it or create it. So that is the first 2. Now, oh yeah, I basically covered the third point, which is creating unique paper for models. So I've near enough just covered that. So again, I'll quickly go over that. It's being inspired by, first of all, seeing a good fold, and then once I look up, for example, what colour is a camel, what colour is a camel? I want to make Shukikato's camel, but what colour is a camel? So I will go on Google, what colour is a camel, search, and then whatever colours that will say, I will try and recreate. So at that point, I will have an idea of the colours, but then it's what paper to use, what thickness should I use, what size should I use, and then I will base the size off of the diagram normally. Shuki normally provides like a ratio, like from like the paper, the size of the paper to the finished model, or I will look up other people's folds and then base it off that. If someone says I use 60 centimeters and the camel is this size, then I may think, oh, that may be too small. I may want a bigger one, so I will adjust it accordingly. But that is one of the things that helps a lot, is having the paper for the models. You could have a list of all the models that you want to make, but you don't have any paper for them. So I would suggest, if you have never created your own paper, to buy the things that you need. It is such what's that word? I'll come back to it. It is such a rewarding process in the long run. That's basically it. All you need is a sheet of glass, a roller, a tube, like a plastic tube, a paintbrush and some MC, and then whatever type of paper that you can treat. And any paper that can be treated is any paper that can absorb liquid near enough, which will work. So point number 4 is only feel like folding certain models, and this is a big thing for me, is having that feeling inside me for the model that I want to make. So for right now, what am I making? I'm making a scale dragon. I'm almost finished the shaping. It'll be in the next few days. That video will be up. It'll almost be like a 4-hour video, but that video will be up soon. So yeah, I'm making a scale dragon. I'm feeling like that at the moment. Now, because I haven't folded an insect in over 2 years, before those 2 years, I creased a lot of Kota insects, and I never came around to collapsing them because I planned to pre-crease a lot of them and then collapse them all the month after. That never happened, and then I burnt myself out folding insects, creasing them more accurately, and yeah, and I just never felt like making them. But now that feeling, that warming feeling I have of going back and making one of them, because they are already, the paper's already made, the paper's already creased, the creases have already been all reversed, so it is straight into collapsing, which is my most favourite part. Outside in is OP, by the way. But yeah, that feeling I have right now of wanting to make an insect is so warming. I really want to do that next, but for example, I have paper already made for the aged dragon, King Ghidorah, a large Khmer lobster, but knowing that I would have to be working with a large scale of paper, and for the aged dragon you need to crease not just the grid but all of those diagonals for the scales and the pleats. It doesn't seem appealing at the moment. I do not feel like making that at this time, even though the crease pattern has just been redrawn by Bodo, Avi and Mitsu from the Origami Discord, which is extremely unique, so many more people will be able to make it. But at this time I do not feel like making the aged dragon, simply because I do not want to work with such a large scale paper and have to crease all that. It doesn't seem appealing at the moment. So I don't tend to make what I don't feel like making, even if I have the paper already made, which is for a lot of models upstairs. The paper's already made. Once I get that inspiration for wanting to make paper for a model, I will go about doing that, and then maybe 9 months later I'll decide to use one of those sheets for that model. And yeah, that is basically it. Oh wait, number 5. Yes, and also to be inspired by what I want to make. So if you have seen my origami Asian elephant, which I've done recently, that inspiration for that model is all about the story of the Asian elephant Kavan. You can all Google that, read about him, learn about him. He's a true inspiration, and one of the things that to me, origami is much more about making cool models. We've all seen what can be made from a single square of paper. We've all seen what can be designed, created, impossible being made. But to me, origami is all about having a story to tell with each model, having inspiration, feelings to share with other folders. Kavan's story is really sad. It's extremely heartbreaking for me, because I love animals so much. I love elephants so much. So that inspiration I got from Kavan really helped me to create the paper. It took about 8 attempts to get the paper right, which I wanted to absolutely nail perfect for Kavan. And then of course the folding wise, I wanted to get everything perfect, the shaping perfect. So Kavan's inspiration and life had inspired me to create the Asian elephant by Shuki Kato, and it's one of my most favourite models I've ever made. So that feeling that I had making the paper, folding the model, shaping the model to what you have seen is phenomenal, and it's good to be inspired by what you want to make. It's not, for example, if Kota released a brand new Japanese spiny lobster V2, would I make that model? No chance whatsoever. I do not feel like making a second lobster of that kind, even if it is far better, much better designed, better proportions, which is perfect as is. Even if it was that, it still wouldn't make me want to make it, because whenever I look at all the models I have made, I don't want to see the same model twice. So I don't want to see 2 lobsters, 2 Ryujins. I like to see a diverse group of models, and I'm like a magician. I don't repeat the same trick twice. I don't fold the same model twice. I don't really like to have a duplicate of the model, even if I can do it so much better. It doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather use that time and invest it in a new model, another 2 models, however long it would take. Yeah, that is basically it. Again, let me know what inspires you to fold or create paper when you wake up, when you're home from school, when you're off work, whenever you have free time. Why do you fold? And that is it, everyone. Even though I had Origami on the table, I never really mentioned it, but again, having the right paper to fold really does help, especially for insects. So yeah, that is it, everyone. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.